The rain tapped gently on the window, a steady rhythm that matched the ticking clock in the corner of the room. For some, this sound is calming. For others, it's a reminder that darkness holds more than silence. It holds stories. Disturbing stories. True ones. Tonight I will share 3 disturbing true crime stories. These events happened in quiet towns, peaceful suburbs, and neighborhoods just like yours. But don't worry, the rain will keep you company. Let's begin with the story of Eleanor Shaw. Eleanor lived in a small Oregon town near the coast. She was 62, recently retired from her work as a school librarian, and loved gardening. Everyone in town knew her. Her life was peaceful, until she started receiving the letters. They came once a week. No return address. Just her name handwritten neatly. The first one simply read, "I see you." Eleanor laughed it off. Seemed childish. Prank. But then came the next one. "Nice red sweater on Tuesday." That's when she stopped smiling. She had worn a red sweater that day, and she had only gone to the grocery store. She told her neighbor Paul, a friendly man in his 70s. Paul checked her mailbox daily after that. But the letters kept coming, more frequent, more detailed. They described what she cooked, what time she walked her dog. Police were called. The letters were examined. No fingerprints. No evidence. Then one stormy night, Eleanor disappeared. Her front door was open, the kettle was still warm, and her dog was barking outside in the rain. Weeks passed. Her family feared the worst. A break came when a forest ranger, hiking through a thick patch of woods 10 miles away, found something unusual. An old camping trailer, covered in moss, hidden behind dense trees. Inside were dozens of handwritten letters. Pinned to the wall was a photo of Eleanor, asleep in her chair, taken from outside her window. The man who lived there was Miles Turner, a former mail carrier who had once delivered to Eleanor's neighborhood. He had been quietly obsessed with her for years. When investigators finally caught him wandering nearby, they found Eleanor's bracelet in his pocket. Miles never spoke during interrogations. He was declared mentally unfit to stand trial. To this day, Eleanor's body was never found. Her garden still blooms every spring, cared for by Paul. The rain continues. Now let's move to Wichita Falls, Texas, and the unsettling story of Dr. Franklin Reeves. Franklin was a respected pediatrician with a wife, 2 daughters, and a spotless reputation. He was quiet, polite, and loved by the families he treated. But beneath his calm demeanor was a truth no one could have guessed. It all started when a 9-year-old girl named Emily Marsh went missing. Her mother, Allison, had dropped her off at school, but she never made it to class. A massive search began. Local news stations flooded the town. Tips came in, most led nowhere. 3 weeks later, a woman hiking in a rural area near the Red River spotted something beneath a pile of leaves. It was Emily's school backpack. The area was cordoned off. That led police to a small, abandoned hunting shed. Inside they found surveillance cameras, syringes, and children's clothing. Fingerprints were matched. Shock rippled through the town when they learned they belonged to Dr. Reeves. His home was searched. What they found stunned even seasoned detectives. A secret room in the basement, lined with soundproof walls, medical equipment, and files on numerous children, patients he had treated. When questioned, Franklin confessed. His obsession with control, he said, had spiraled over the years. He believed he was protecting the children from the dangers of the world. Emily had died from an overdose of sedatives. An accident, he claimed. He was sentenced to life in federal prison without the possibility of parole. His wife moved away with their daughters, changing their names. The clinic where he once worked was shut down permanently. Even now, people in Wichita Falls say they avoid that part of the river. Just in case. Rain continues to fall. And now, the story of Noah Granger and the lake that kept secrets. Noah was 28, a handyman in Vermont. He lived alone in a small cabin by Lake Windermere, a quiet, fog-covered body of water surrounded by pine trees. He was soft-spoken and reclusive but helped anyone who needed a fix. People trusted him. In the fall of 2011, a teenager named Madison Price vanished after attending a bonfire at the lake. Her phone last pinged near the shore. Her friend said she'd left early after an argument with her boyfriend, Caleb. At first, police suspected him. But Caleb passed a polygraph, and there was no physical evidence. A diver recovered Madison's phone months later, water-damaged and stuck beneath a rock. The last photo she had taken was blurry, but in the background was the outline of Noah's cabin. He denied involvement, said he had been asleep that night, alone. The investigation stalled. Then, 2 years later, it happened again. This time it was Rachel Brenner, a college student home for the holidays. She had gone kayaking early one morning and never returned. Her kayak was found half-sunk on the far side of the lake, not far from Noah's cabin. The town was now suspicious. Police got a warrant. Inside his cabin, nothing seemed out of place, until they discovered a trapdoor hidden beneath a heavy rug. It led to a small root cellar that had been converted into a chilling chamber. Old newspaper clippings, items from the missing girls, and one wall filled with photographs of local women. A DNA test matched Noah to fibers found on both Madison's and Rachel's belongings. During trial, he showed no emotion. He claimed the lake spoke to him, told him to cleanse the wicked. The court psychiatrist deemed him delusional and dangerous. He was sentenced to 2 consecutive life terms. The cabin was burned down by angry locals. The land sits vacant. Fishermen say they still see a figure standing on the shore, watching in the early morning mist. They never go near. The rain falls heavier now. There's one more story tonight. The story of the Stockton babysitter. It was the summer of 1998 in California. Families were hiring babysitters during the school holidays. That's how Angela Cartwright, age 16, began working for the Sanderson family. They adored her. Angela was smart, responsible, and bonded quickly with the 2 children, Ethan, 5, and Lily, 3. The parents, Melissa and Greg Sanderson, had full-time jobs and trusted Angela completely, until the day the fire happened. The Sanderson home went up in flames at 3 a.m. Neighbors rushed out to see black smoke rising high into the sky. Firefighters pulled out 3 bodies: Greg, Melissa, and little Lily. Ethan survived but was in critical condition. Angela was found blocks away, in shock, sitting barefoot on a park bench. She told police she had left before the fire started. But investigators were skeptical. Surveillance from a neighbor's door camera showed Angela walking toward the house late that night, carrying a red gas can. When questioned again, her story changed. She claimed Melissa had yelled at her the night before for letting the kids stay up too late. Angela felt humiliated. She insisted she only meant to scare them. The gasoline and a lighter told another story. During trial, Angela's journal was submitted as evidence. In it, she had written pages about her resentment toward the Sandersons. She believed they used her, and that the children loved her more than their mother. She was sentenced to 50 years to life. Ethan even to